The purpose of this video is to show you how to set up your gradebook in Schoology and Power Teacher for the 2017-2018 school year. Pretty much everything's staying the same. There's just a couple of new things I need to tell you about. If you are new to the district, you want to know where to find your gradebook, you're going to go to your Power Teacher in your Launchpad, and Power Teacher gives you the option to launch it. If you talk to your Gradebook trainer, I'm sure they'll show you how to put that on your desktop and have a shortcut like I do. And if they can't help you, contact me, Betsy Masters. We'll go ahead and get started today by opening up your gradebook. And step one is going to your 2017-2018 gradebook. You'll notice that I don't have anything because this is prior to school starting, so I don't have classes yet. So for the sake of this video, I'll be working in my 2016-17 homeroom class. Just notice that mine says 16-17, yours will say 17-18. So the first thing that we're going to do when we get into our classes, we're going to select one of our classes, not homeroom and not conduct. I'll show you how to set up your conduct grades in just a few minutes. But let's click on one of your classes and then go to Tools and Preferences and the Grading tab. So again, Tools, Preferences, and the Grading tab right here. You're going to select Rounded. Store calculated grades with 0 decimal places. If you don't have that, it will mess up with the grading and averaging. You'll want to make sure that letter grades are checked on the final grade, attendance column, the percentage, the absences, and tardies. You'll also want to check that letter grade and percent is shown in the student view mode, and then press OK. Your next step is to go back to Tools and go to Categories. For most of you, if you're a veteran teacher, you're going to notice that you have what we used last year, homework and test. This year, we're going to go back to using major and minor. So you're going to need to double check and make sure that you have a major and a minor. Your major will be MAJOR. You can abbreviate it MAJ. It is going to be out of 100 points possible. You're going to grade by percentage, and this box right here should be checked. So again, yours should look like mine for major, and if you click on minor, it should look the same. Now, if you're new and you don't have major and minor, or you're not new and you don't have major and minor because you just were new last year, all you have to do is push the add button, and you will just type in major and MAJ, and then make sure out of points out of 100, and you're just going to do the very same thing I did a moment ago. This is points out of 100. This is calculated by a percentage. Check this box. You do not need to remove any of these categories because they are tied to previous grade books. So if you do remove quizzes or tests or homework, it will mess up in conflict with previous grade books. Do not do that. Just leave those there. Now, when you're finished making your categories, you can push the close button. I know I have an error message because I already have a category like that. So our next step is to make sure that we are setting up our grade book properly. So we're going to look at this tab. Typically, you land on the score sheet tab. You're going to go click on the grade setup tab, and this is where we're going to be working for a few minutes. In the grade setup tab, you're going to choose the yearly. Double click on it, and yearly is going to be term weights. You're going to have Q1 is 100% weight, and we're going to use 25% of that for our final grade. So yours should mimic this. It should say for Y1, quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, 125, yada, yada, yada. Then, once you have that done for your class, you're going to go down to the Q1. Double click on it. For Q1, you are going to select category weight. Your category weight is going to be, if you teach, well, you're not a special area teacher, so I've got to remove this one. So you're going to select major and minor. And okay, major and minor. Now I need to come to this side and make the weight of the major according to the SDPC grading guidelines. Let me go to that and show you. I'll show you how to get to that. Inside of Tech Savvy Teacher and Resources, if you'll go to the Schoology How-To button, folder, I'm not re-recording this, excuse me, and you'll see the Schoology Gradebook resource folder. Here's our weighting guidelines for the School District of Pickens County. And it gives you the minimum number of assignments that you should have in your gradebook, and it gives you also the grading percentages. So you'll notice if your math, your minor grades will count 60%, your major grades count 40%. For elementary, this is different than middle school and high school. So again, this is the minimum number of assignments that you are supposed to have in your gradebook, minimum. And then this is the percentage. So we go back to my gradebook setup, and major is going to have a weight of 40%, and minor is going to have a weight of 60% according to my grade guidelines. Okay. And then once I push save, now I have that completed. I'd like to copy this calculated grade setup for Q2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to just press copy here. I'm going to copy Q1 only. Okay. And I'm going to check that I want this copy to Q2, Q3, Q4. That way I don't have to manually do that every time. Okay. Finish. And I'm going to finish. Now I'm ready to go back to Y1. Y1, we said that was term weights, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Now I can copy the entire class. I could have done this before this, to be honest with you. I'm going to act like I know what I'm doing. You'll notice that I don't have these classes aren't set up yet, so I can't select my current classes, but you will be able to select all those classes, all the classes that you teach, and it should set up, it will set up all of your classes, grade setup after you click those classes and click next. Unfortunately, I don't have classes to show you right now, so I can't. So basically what we've done is copy the gradebook setup for this one class into all the rest of these classes. If you have questions about that or that's tricky, you can contact me, Betsy Masters, and I will be glad to help you through that. You're finished with this. If you copied those settings, now you're ready to go to the Schoology Gradebook. So we're going to flip over and go to Schoology Gradebook, and this time I'm going to select a course. As you can see, I already have a course selected here, so I'm going to select my course. I will give you a word of warning that this is not a regular class, so it doesn't have the grading scale specifics. I apologize, but for purposes of this video, I had to do it this way. You'll notice the first thing that you're going to do when you go to your classes in your Schoology is you're going to click on Gradebook. When you click on Gradebook, Grade Setup appears. So now you have a Grade Setup page. This is where we want to start in setting up our Schoology Gradebook. Step 1, you are going to go to, so we're going to do add a category. We are going to add we're going to add the major category. We're going to calculate by percent. I'm making sure of that, and I double checked it. Drop the lowest grade. If you drop the lowest grade, if you set that up in the Power Teacher, you notice I just sort of went over that. I didn't do that setup. I can go back and show you how to do that, but what you do here has to match what you do in the Power Teacher. Just because it can really mess up your grade book, I do not drop the lowest grade. And then the weight for this is going to be 100. Now, you may not see the weight at first. If you don't, that's okay. All you have to do is to click right here on weighted category, and then it will allow you to press this, okay, and put in 100%. You're not finished yet. Now wait a minute. Major grades were going to be 40%. Now I'm going to add another one, and it's going to be minor, again calculated by percentages, and the weight of a minor is going to be not 69, 60%, and create. Again, if you don't see the, oh my, okay, I need to fix that. So you notice how I just clicked inside this box to fix it. So now I have 40 and 60, and that's correct. Okay, so again, you just need to add major and minor. You can also, at this point, you can check here. This is where mine's going to differ from yours. The period here is not marked. Mine is not following the SDPC grade period guidelines. This is a free class that I have. So yours should say quarter one, and it should say the dates for quarter one, quarter 2, 3, 4, 125, 125. The weight is 100 on all of this. The percentage is 25 because each of those quarters count 25% of your final grade. When you get to the final grade setting, you're going to select numeric. Select numeric. If you go on down, you are not going to check this box. You're not going to check round, but you are going to check that you have a course override. That's going to give you the option to override the entire grade. That comes in handy when you have students that transfer in. This is the period override button column, and it makes those two columns in your grade book so that you can manually override the grade, and they also go straight into Schoology. Don't forget to scroll down to the bottom and push Save Changes. Save Changes. Okay. At this point, you have your major and minor set up for your one class. You can also use the copy function to copy these settings over to all the rest of your classes. So you're just going to simply click on Copy Settings. You'll notice that category is copied, so the major and minor will be there. The grading periods will be there, and rubrics will be there. But you'll notice that final grade setting is not there. You're going to need to check that and make sure that you have the appropriate marks done for each class. So now if I'm checking, I can go, I want to select this class and this class and tell it to copy, and that will copy all of my categories, grade periods, rubrics, grading scales over into the other classes. I might stop for a second and backtrack. You'll want your rubric, your scale, your grading scale to set default to be numeric. I had it set here because I was doing a video on related arts, but by checking this, then that defaults your scale as you're typing in. So you may want to do that prior to, I apologize, doing the save changes and before doing copy settings. So you'll want to maybe change that first. Now you have, in every class, you have category, grading period. This part, though, needs to be verified for each of your sections. Again, this part has to be verified for each section and for each class. Other than that, you've got the basics done of setting up your school book. So you notice now I did a little bit of magic while you were on hold. And now I'm at a different class. I'm actually opening one of my classes from previous years. I did that so that I can have access to this Power School app, which you should have on the left-hand side under your course. So if you'll click on the Power School app, this is the next step in setting up your gradebook. This is where we force Schoology and Power Teacher to talk to each other. So again, you're going to go to the Power School app. Talk to your gradebook trainer if you do not know how to get that app, or if it doesn't show up. Make sure that you talk to your Power School or your gradebook trainer, and they can help you with that. Now that I'm on PowerSchool, again, this is how Schoology is going to talk to PowerSchool. I'm going to go to this Configure tab. Make sure you click the Configure tab. And we're going to check this, that it automatically shortens assignment titles and that they customize the grade category mapping below. This is where we're going to tell what this does. So in the Schoology, we set a minor category, and we're going to come over here to the PowerSchool category and say minor needs to go to minor. Major needs to go to major. Okay. Sort of tricky the way I'm doing this because I keep asking myself some questions. And I keep thinking maybe I shouldn't have done this or that or the other. But I hope that I haven't messed anything up on my old Gradebook. Okay, so this is where we're at. You are going to see the Schoology course categories that we just set up. In Schoology, we just set up a major and a minor. So you're going to, and then also in PowerSchool, we set up major and minor. So you're going to go back to this screen and you're going to map minor to minor. In other words, you're telling Schoology that if it's a minor grade, it goes to the minor in PowerSchool. If it's a major grade, it goes to major in PowerSchool. And then I'm going to encourage you to scroll down. This becomes a part that is missing. Scroll down inside over here. There's another scroll bar. And then make sure you do save changes. I am not going to hit save changes because I don't want to mess up my old Gradebook, but this is what yours would look like. Major to major, minor to minor, save changes. You'll also need to make sure that you do this configuration for each section. So you'll need to go to section 2 and map minor to minor, major to major. You'll need to go to section 3, or whatever you have, whatever yours are named. But you have to do that for every section or it will not talk. We found that to be an issue last year. So make sure, and then as you can see here on the screen, it looks like it's okay, but when you scroll down again, here, when you're scrolling down, you'll see save changes at the bottom. Always make sure you save those changes. If you have any questions, you can contact your Gradebook trainer, or you can contact me, Betsy Masters, at pickens.k12.sc.us. I'll be glad to help you. Thanks, and I hope you have a great school year.